Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back on GT Sport and we're back with a preview of the new daily races. So if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and let me know in the comment section what you thought about the races I'm showing you here, and let me know about the races that you have entered, because let me tell you, have we got some dirty races for you today. Yeah, the new week of races, daily race A and B, are a bit messy to say the least. So let's start off with daily race A, and straight away we're driving the Toyota 86 around Autopolis, and look who is behind us, the PG Motorsport. I think probably a worse driver than Momo's. I think he's a dirtier driver, so just keep an eye on him in the mirror here as we're going on the inside line, going into turn one. He rams us there, then just rams everyone out the way, pushes straight through and carries on. And he is the type of driver, he actually winds me up a lot more than Momo's. I would actually say that. Momo's I can tolerate, but PG Motorsport, one of the biggest idiots of Gran Turismo. There's plenty of other people that have had issues with him, but yeah, he just tends to take people out for the fun of it, and yeah, it's quite annoying, but when you got people like that, not much you can do. So we're starting this race, and let me just tell you now, this is not the half of it. Daily race A and B is so messy. It's just full of chaos. I personally will probably try and avoid them. I might do them when I'm streaming later, just for the laugh of it, just for the entertainment, but in general it seems very chaotic. As we got the inside here, we got the inside, but the Italian driver just turned in as if I wasn't there. Don't think he realised I was already up the inside, but I think he's on a control pad as well, because every set of corners he's on, he's flashing his lights. So yeah, I think he's just flashing because he's on the control pad. But into the braking zone, and we look behind us, and we get rammed from the red car. Then we get rammed again, and yeah, it just kept ramming us in the braking zone. We actually knocked into the gold car that was on our outside there, the orangey gold car. So quite frustrating, but people, this is how people are racing these races. They're basically just using you as a brake, ramming into your rear. I knew that he was going to do that after we got pushed, because he probably didn't realise I got pushed by that red driver, the German driver there through the corner. But yeah, through here you see the Italian driver just completely take out the orange one. I decided to brake there so that I avoid any chaos. He runs off. I then just, on the track here, you see we get pushed off again. It's a very messy race, let me tell you this. And this is not the worst one out of all the races we've done. It gets a lot worse, let me tell you that. So into P12, not the best start really. It's 3 laps of this track. It's a bit short again. I'm not sure whether 4 laps would have been any better, to be brutally honest, because it's so messy. I'm not sure if it's the car or the track, but I really don't know what's causing people to drive the way they are today, because some of the driving I've witnessed today is probably some of the worst I've ever seen on GT Sport. But there is also some very good driving, so make sure you stay around to the end of the video, because Daily Race C, some brilliant driving in that. I really enjoyed that one. But this one, you can see chaos, cars going off track. We've got a penalty up ahead, which I believe was because he pushed that car off the track. I think I watched that on the replay, just shoved him off the track. So yeah, nothing unusual for Daily Race A. Daily Race A does tend to be a bit of a hit and miss race. Some races you go in, you can have great racing. Some races are just terrible. As we come through here, we see the Italian driver all over the show. We got the inside here. We've got them moved on the inside. And now we're going to just obviously stay in the middle of the track as we go into the braking zone. Make sure we brake nice and early so we don't push anyone wide. Through here, and we can see that we've all got through there okay, but we've got a lot of penalties up ahead. 2 cars with penalties, obviously from taking other cars out of the race. And we're going to go into the braking zone and probably take one of these drivers up ahead. I think one had a 2-second, one had a 3-second possibly. But yeah, we managed to take the blue Toyota 86, but just came out behind the red one. And yeah, not much we can do here. We're just going to be stuck behind them through here. We're going to have a little look through. Can we manage to go for a move? It doesn't look like there's much I can do. So just staying as close as we can. Down into 2nd gear through here. Keep the revs high. And then early upshift into 3rd gear. I probably do need to start working that section of track out, because I think you can actually stay in 3rd gear through there, possibly, and actually do it a bit faster. But through this final corner, all we've got to do now is just hold on to this position. But to be honest, after this race, I was like, well, we're going to give this another go, because in general, whenever I do these daily race A's, I like to give them 2 goes at least, because I think it's a bit wrong to judge a race on one race in terms of daily race A and B. So I thought, well, we'll go again, as we tried to go around the outside there, but I think the German driver just saw that and just kind of blocked it off. Bit aggressive, but kind of, you know what I mean, not much you can do. So we start the next race. 2nd attempt of this race, starting from last, and we're going into turn 1. I decided to brake nice and early here. and then take a wider line and cut back a bit. So you see we get a bit of a cut back. We managed to get that position, and we have a little look up the right, but this Spanish driver just goes to cut us off very early. Now this Spanish driver in front of me is filthy, really dirty driver. You're going to see again into the braking zone. He just goes to push them drivers out the way. He actually hits the white driver into the blue car, and yeah, that car's now out on the grass there as we managed to go past him. But yeah, this driver in front of us, pretty filthy. You're going to see some pretty dirty driving from this guy as we work our way through this corner. Trying to just fast forward the action now as we go into the braking zone here. What we're going to see now is I go for a little fake here and then brake early. He just sends it and actually goes straight into the side of the Italian driver there. I stay nice and tight because I didn't want to hit him, because I want to try and make sure I stay clean. We give him a lot of space. I didn't want to run into the side of him. But yeah, the Spanish driver straight into the side of the Italian driver on that corner there. And the Italian driver kind of backed out of that there. I think he fought wiser and backed out, but he runs a bit wide there. We're going to take the inside line and put ourselves up to P9. So far, a bit of a messy start to this race. As you see, we're on the inside. We're giving him the space. Didn't want to cut him up here, but however, through here, he just turns in on me there. Now, I wasn't sure. I was thinking, was that on purpose or not? I don't know. Well, we're going to have a little look at something after. I'm not 100% convinced that wasn't on purpose, because it looked like he was trying to push me off the track. I'll show you in a bit when we get to some replay action. So going down the straight, again, we're going to go to the left hand side, see if we can go a wider line, cut back and get a bit of better exit speed than some of these drivers. So brake early, cut back on the power early, and we managed to make that work again on this orange Toyota 86. However, the Spanish driver again sees it coming, just erratically sends his car over to the right hand side of the track. Now we're on the inside here. Now just keep an eye in our mirror, the driver on our inside. This is a driver that I thought might have took us out, and again rams us again, keeps pushing us all the way through the corner. So I thought, do you know what, I'm not having this. We give him a little shove out wide, and that is him into the barrier, sent to the shadow realm, and now he's spinning. So I got quite frustrated with that driver because I witnessed it earlier on in the race. So this point here, you're going to see, this is a replay action I was talking about. So coming up here, we give him plenty of space, but watch he's not sliding. He just randomly turns right into me there. I am convinced that is deliberate. It looks too on purpose. And then you're going to see now, as we come into the braking, so he rams us, then he rams us again here, and then he just keeps on the accelerator, pushing us all the way through the corner. No respect, so yeah, see you in the barrier. But yeah, quite frustrating race. You're going to get very frustrated at these daily races. I'm going to tell you now, they are quite filthy. A lot of dirty driving going on. I was on the verge of turning into momos on these races. I am not lying. I was getting quite frustrated. But you can see we fast forward the action here now, up into P10, because the driving is just chaotic. And we see the red car there, runs a little bit wide. We're going to see an opportunity, go up the inside, and we stay very tight to apex to give him the space on the left. And again, we're going to give him the space on the left hand side. We're going to make sure we don't cut him up. And we've got the inside line now for this tricky right hand corner. So up into P9, we've got that Spanish driver up ahead of us that was a bit dirty before. Let's just witness just how dirty this driver is. But there's also some action with this other driver. I don't know what's gone on between these two, but you're going to see this. He tries to take him out there. Clearly something's gone on. So I just thought, you know, I'm staying out of this, going through the middle as the Spanish driver sideswipes him. But then look in the mirror. He just completely rams us on purpose. Now, I have no idea why. We're going to have a little look again. So you see, I go through the middle of them, which is rightfully so, because they're battling. He just rams us. And this is one of many punts that we get hit off today. I think it's been a day of just getting punted, really. That's all. Every race, nearly every lap, we've been receiving some kind of hit from somewhere. So that was race 2 of Daily Racer A. And let me tell you, I don't think I'll be doing many of them Daily Racer A's, because it is a disaster. People, no respect, dirty driving, I'm not really into that. So Daily Race B, we've never had this combination before as a daily race. I did put it in my video a while ago for races we've never had, and conveniently it pops up. But unfortunately, it's a Daily Race B. So there's no tyre wear, which means it's going to be dominated by the FF cars. Now this is the worry about this track, because it's so overpowered in an FF car. I decided to do this race in a Ferrari though, something different. We didn't want to be boring and drive what everyone else is using, because yeah, we could easily do a lap in the Scirocco or whatever and set a pole lap and then probably go for the win. But I wanted to start in the middle of the field with the Ferrari and see what the action's like in the middle of the field, as we see this Peugeot on the inside. Does a bit of an aggressive send there, and I have to say, keep an eye out for him, because does seem to be quite an aggressive driver in general. But we managed to go up the inside there. We're going to give space on the right hand side now because we've got another car just on our right side now. We obviously gave him space there, and we took him behind that RCZ and work our way down straight. So we got a bit of a slipstream. The Ferrari quite good in the slipstream, into the braking zone again. We're going to try and give space again, and again the RCZ, the silver one, so aggressive in the braking zones. He was causing quite a lot of incidents, I have to say. I think he actually said something about he might be a subscriber on the channel, but he was just being really aggressive. Again, he gets a little punt off them, but I don't know whose fault that one was. But through here, we have to go on a bit of a wide line. We've got the Audi on our right hand side, and we're going to try and hold a narrow line. Good thing about the Ferraris, it's very good through this corner. So we brake nice and early, third gear through the apex on the throttle, and we managed to hold on to P5. So far, even though it's gone a bit messy, it's not been the worst. You know, it's not going too bad yet. However, don't worry, it's going to get a lot worse, partly through a mistake of my own. As we come through here, we get a really good exit, and we're right behind the Peugeot. So this is a very tricky corner. I need to tell you how you have to be so cautious this corner. It's one of the hardest corners on the track if you're very close to someone on the view, especially on this view. So I was following him, got on the grass, hit the barrier, kept the car straight because I didn't know whether to go left or right, because either way you go, see the car in front went left, the car behind stayed straight. And yeah, we got a rightful penalty. That is a fair penalty. I deserved that because we ended up kind of blocking that driver. So I'm quite happy to take that penalty. But yeah, we skip a little bit further on in the race now, and we're down in P9 obviously after that penalty, and we've managed to catch up to, we're not far behind P6 and 7, and we got this Audi in front of us. So we have a little look down the right hand side, try and see if we can brake a little bit later than he can, but that would be very optimistic. But coming through here on the power nice and early, and we get a bit of a run through here. You can see as we've got a car up ahead, we've got two cars up ahead. Now one thing again I advise, if you're coming up to this corner, probably lift off a little bit. Try and give yourself some space. Luckily this time we do it really nicely, down to fourth gear. I saw him running wide, so I actually lifted a bit, managed to take the Audi there, but then into the braking zone, and yes, we have been punted off for about the 50th time today. And yeah, you can imagine I am on the verge of losing something. I'm not going to say it on the video, but yeah, we're going to lose our mind a little bit here. So have a little look again. It's the RCZ again, misses his braking, rams into the Audi, rams into me. They're both going to get penalties. But yeah, this is what you're going to be putting up with for daily racing A and B. It is an absolute nightmare from what I've seen so far. It's really frustrating because I think these combinations do actually have potential if you come across good drivers. So I'm sure there's going to be good racing to be had on daily race A and B. But yeah, I decided again because I thought, do you know what? I'm going to give this a second chance, because we don't want to just give a verdict on a race off one race. We want to make sure we give it 2 races, because I think it's the only way to be fair really on daily race A and B. Daily race C is a bit different because it's a longer race, so you get a better idea on that. But daily race A and B, I think it's a nice idea to give it 2 goes, just to make sure that you haven't got it wrong. But as you're going to see, I don't think there's anything to argue. This race again is a punt fest. It's just full of people with no cares, and I think some of this is to do with the FF cars. I think it's to do with the FF cars, a lot of this as well, with the acceleration on them, the top speed and stuff like that. So we go through here, we're going down the left in the Ferrari, and this Italian just pushes me straight into the barrier because he saw me, and he definitely saw me. I actually seen it on his inputs. He saw me going down the left, and he just basically shoves us into the wall. That move like that for me is probably more frustrating than someone who punts you off, because it's sly. I find that kind of move very sly, so that really did wind me up, I have to say. So again, through here, we've got the Peugeot from the race before, and again, he's going to send it up the inside, and yeah, as you can see, it's all getting very messy. I decided to take a very tight line through there. We did actually come into contact with Jura, I think, there on P7, but we were trying to stay as tight as we could because it was all kicking off. Luckily, we got through on the left-hand side and back up to P5. So we get the slipstream down the straight. Again, the Ferrari, pretty good in a slipstream, I have to say. You can compete with this car, but what I will say is you need to rely on drivers that are not going to ram you off every second. So I got a bit annoyed with this Italian. This was the Italian from before, and yeah, it's all kicking off again as the RCZ just shoves him off track a bit. I was actually squeezing as well, and then through here we get squeezed off into the sand, but luckily we drift it and just about save it. So yeah, quite a nice save there, just about keep on track. However, we took a really weird line through there and we've lost a couple more positions. So as you can tell, this race has been really messy, and don't worry, it just seems to get even worse. So look in the mirror here, massive gap to the car behind the Scirocco, just decides to send it from another postcode and just pushes us out of the way. And this is what you're going to see so much of this. It's people are just sending it, pushing people out of the way. And for me personally, Daily Race C seems to be a lot calmer. People are driving more sensible. There is some aggressive driving, but it was such a better race. I'm really looking forward to getting to Daily Race C, let's tell you that, because we had a great race, really enjoyable. But yeah, we managed to get back past, well, we go back past the Italian, and again, he's trying to push. I preempted this, so I knew he was going to try and push me into the barrier, so I kind of was turning right into him a bit. And then, yeah, we ended up giving him a little shove there, because I got really frustrated with him. But luckily, we managed to stay on the track. We get back past him and then into the braking zone. They just send it. I knew they were going to send it there, so I braked a bit early, and then he obviously runs wide. They see a gap on the right side, and we're going to take that position, and we managed to get ourselves up to P9. So this has all been in the space of a few laps. It is absolute murder. As he tries to push us onto the grass through there, there was no way I was going to back out of that. We're on the inside, so he's got a 2-second penalty anyway. So again, let's just have a little look at that incident. As we saw while we were driving through, we saw a bit of an incident in front of us. And the Scirocco again, going into this corner again, just pushed everyone out of the way. And this is what I'm saying. This is why we gained the position during that as well. It's just absolute murder going on. It's a bit frustrating because there's probably potential to have a good fun race here if you come across good drivers. But when you've got drivers that don't seem to want to give any sort of respect, you're going to get very messy racing. So we see the Audi nearly losing control there, so I went to the right just so that in case he lost control, and then the Audi behind me got the inside, so I had to back out of that. I couldn't defend that, so he's trying to stay a really wide line and managed to hold on to that position. So we do a nice little bit of defending there and keep reasonable speed through the corners as we get the slipstream off the Audi in front of us, and we got an Audi now just to the rear of us on the right hand side, but we're just about ahead, down to third gear, try and make sure we take a nice smooth entry into this corner and follow our way behind the Audi again as we fast forward the action up into the next braking zone, or the next punting zone as we like to call it on the Daily Racing B by the looks of it. But yeah, through this time we managed to get a nice move done. We brake late on the outside and managed to get quite a nice overtake done there on the Audi. And we've got the Scirocco that was just sending it at every opportunity in front of us, so I don't know what's happened there. Probably some sort of attempt at an overtake that's gone wrong is my guess. But up into the braking zone, braking on the 100 board as we go under here. You can see looking for that 100 board, braking just pretty much dead on that 100 board and accelerating behind him. I like to stay in second gear in the Ferrari. The Ferrari is an okay car here, trust me. If you don't get a race like this, I mean, I'm sure we'll get a good race here eventually, maybe next year or something. But yeah, I'm sure the racing can be good here, and if you do come across good racers that are going to give you respect, I think the Ferrari can actually do okay here because it can get in the 47s. Now I do think that the FF cars will probably be in the 46s by the end of the week because the FF cars are beyond dominant and it's literally a perfect track for them. So we're fast forwarding the action again behind P7. We're going to try and go for a move. We're going to go up the inside. No, we're going to try and go on the right hand side and see if we can go around the outside, but he's not going to give us any space there, which I mean he doesn't actually, he gives us loads of space, but we actually just run a bit wide. So we got a car off in front of us. I don't know what's gone on there. Probably again it's in that braking zone for that corner. Almost blocks the driver in front, but then they both come into contact. I decided to back out and then take a nice line, tight line through there. We managed to do that perfectly. We get past that driver, he tries to block us off. Luckily we managed to get up on the inside, and then he tries to send it round the outside, which I don't think is ever going to work. But as you can tell from these races, it is absolute mayhem. And this is why I'm saying to you, honestly, it might be best to avoid Daily Race A and B. If you're worried about your SR or your drive rating or anything like that, I would personally give it a miss. Daily Race C, on the other hand, what a race. Enjoyable. This one's great. Great fun. You have to use both the medium and soft tyres. Group 3 at Nürburgring GP track, and it's a fun one. RCZ for me is the car to go. I think the RCZ is one of the best cars for this race. Its tyre wear is so good, and it's quite good on heavy fuel, and this has only got ×1 fuel, so it actually works quite well for this car because you haven't got, you know, you don't get slowed down. I think the Audi's quite slow on heavy fuel. Also the tyre wear will be really aggressive for the Audi, so personally the RCZ seems like the car. But straight away you can see nearly 14 seconds behind the leader because of the way this race starts. I really hope that for GT7 Polyphony, take a look at ACC's rolling start system, because this is stupid. Look at the gaps that we've got. We got like over 1 second gaps between cars. As we managed to catch up to P17 and into the braking zone. He brakes a little bit too late there. We managed to go up the inside, and we're going to take that P17 from him. So up to one position there from P18. We've got Nico, who started in P13 a little bit ahead of us. We're going to skip further on in the lap now. We're on lap 2. And we've managed to catch up to these other drivers. This driver just seems to let us through. Doesn't fight it, just lets us through on the inside. So managed to gain another position there. And now we're going to chase on for P15 in this race. So catching up to the drivers up ahead, you can see we're getting very close to this. As we come through here, they're going too wide through there, which is always a difficult situation. You see, they managed to do it, but they lose a lot of speed. So we're going to get the run on this orange Porsche in front of us. We managed to go up the inside there, taking the corner nicely. We get that position done and up into P15. So now we've got the WRX and Pretzer in front of us. Can we go for a move on him at any time? I decided to start this race on the mediums, obviously. And I did have no idea how long tyres would last. So it was just a case of guessing. But this track is very aggressive on tyre wears. We come up behind the Subaru. Obviously, medium tyres. We go to the left-hand side, and we're going to try and send it around the outside. Now, this is a very difficult move to make. We managed to get quite a good acceleration. We keep it stable. The RCZ is so good on stability. And we've managed to get the inside. Now, as we go to the inside, gives us a little shove here. Pushes us a bit wide, a little bit rude. But you know what? I thought, well, we're not going to take that line down. We're going to hang it around the outside here. So we managed to just about hang around the outside, and we just about get enough of our car on the inside. And we return the favour there. And we're side by side. This was actually some really good racing, I have to say. I enjoyed this. So side by side through here. We're now going to hang it round the outside of this corner by braking really late down into second gear. He gets the inside. However, I've now got the inside for this corner. He brakes a tiny bit late, and we managed to take that position. Some really fun racing and up into P13. So what a difference this race is compared to the other two, because so far we've already had some brilliant overtaking and some fun racing. Now we're catching up to P12, and that is the Aston Martin. I think it is there. Is it an Aston Martin or Jaguar? I can't tell from here. I think it's the Aston Martin, but this is going to be a bit harder to overtake for the RCZ, but we get the run on him. We go to the left, decide to back out of that one. We can't really go for the move there, and decide that I'm going to go for a pit stop, because we're going to end up getting held up behind this Aston Martin. Although we probably could have overtook him there, but we see Nico's gone in the pits as well. I'm into the pits, and a few other drivers are into the pits. So this is my first race. I think that 7 laps on the softs is a bit much. I wouldn't personally recommend it. I would probably say more optimal is either 4 on the mediums and 6 on the softs, or 5-5 split. I think 5-5 split might actually work quite well, but I think 4 medium, 6 soft on with the Peugeot will be pretty solid. It'll work pretty well. As we skip ahead, as we just in no man's land for a bit there, and we've managed to catch up to P16. I'm not sure this driver's pitted yet. I don't think he has. I think he's on the medium tyres and hasn't pitted yet, so I don't think he's going to battle us too much. Like I say, you don't want to battle people too much. You can see I'm on -4 bias because I'm trying to save them rear tyres. So driving up behind the Beetle, he's just going to let us go. He's not going to defend that, and that is quite sensible really, because he's not pitted yet. He's not really in the same race, as we managed to get a nice jump on some people there that have pitted on that lap, on lap 4 I think it is. The end of lap 4 they've pitted, and we've got quite a bit of undercut on them. So we're up into P10 in this race. We're closing in on P9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 2 actually. P1 hasn't pitted yet. You can see P1 is out in the lead on his own, and the pit lane loss is quite long here, so you cannot do a 2-stop. It is just a 1-stop, and you choose which tyre you start the race on. But there is advantages to going pitting very early and getting a big undercut, because the undercut at this track is massive. So do bear that in mind. You can gain a lot of positions, but you're going to suffer at the end of the race on tyre wear, as we're closing in on P9 in front of us now. So trying to keep the tyres in reasonably good condition. Time 7 tyre wear, it is going to affect these soft tyres. Now other cars that you can use, Beetle, Porsche, I think Mercedes might be pretty solid here as well. Mercedes AMG. Vantage is always reasonable round here. I've used it. Corvette is actually okay, although the tyre wear could be a bit of a problem for that car. Although it's very rear limited, that's why I'm running -4 bias. So you can take, I think you could run 5-5 split with the Corvette and do pretty well. There's quite a few cars that can actually do reasonably well here, but the Peugeot for me, I think is really strong. The FT1 could be worth a shot. I don't know how that drives around here, but I would definitely say it'd be worth a go, because I have a feeling the FT1 might be pretty decent. As that driver just lets us through again, he's not going to fight that position. You saw we were on pretty good tyres, I think, and we were actually flying at this stage of the race as we come through here. We come up behind P. Walker. In front of us, we've had issues with him in the past. Remember, I think it might have been at Tokyo, I can't remember. But let's see if we're going to race fair today as we get the slipstream from him up the main straight, and we're going to go over the line with a pretty decent lap time actually, 1:53.8. So quite a nice time there for the Peugeot, the RCZ. As we look up the inside, we're going to brake late. We managed to make that move up in the inside there. He doesn't really fight it, and we take that position from him quite easily without much of a fight. So quite nice. He didn't really battle us too much. This is going quite well for me. We're up to P7, and if you take a look with the gap to the leader, I think that we're not far off here actually. If we look at, I think P2 is technically in the lead of this at this moment, as we skip a few laps ahead, and we've seen that Ollie has obviously pitted. Ollie racing there in P3 is pitted. He's come out in P3, and we've got a car in front of us with a penalty. The BMW's got a penalty, and we're only 3.5 seconds away from the lead in this race. So it's looking very interesting. Very, very close race, I have to say. A really enjoyable one. It all seems to have come together at the end of the race to get very close racing. As we've got the slipstream to the BMW now, we're going to work our way through the rest of this lap and see if we can find anywhere to go for an overtake. So yeah, just letting his slipstream to help me along. I think some of these drivers in front of us were on much better tyres, except for Nico, who's managed to get himself in the lead, although he did start about 6 positions ahead of us, I think, or 5 or 6 positions ahead. So we have a little look up the inside here, and we managed to squeeze up the inside, but we don't manage to make the move. We have to give him a bit of space there. And again, into the braking zone, we're going to try and do a cutback. However, the tyres are starting to fade. You can already see it on the telemetry. You can see just how bad these tyres are. And this is why the 5-5 split might actually work quite well, because you'd have such fresh tyres at the end. But it depends how you do it. I think if you're starting at the back, towards the back, you probably want to pit early to get the undercut. You can see myself getting very aggressive here. We're trying to find a way past it. BMW also seems to be struggling a bit on tyre wear. I think there's some other cars, and some of these are pitted later than us as well. So BMW, probably okay around the lap, but I think the tyre wear might be a bit of a problem in that car. But again, we nearly got a move on him there, but as we came out the corner, he lost the rear, and we ended up obviously nearly losing the rear ourselves, where I think we slightly tapped the rear of his bumper. But fast forward in the action again, coming to the end of lap 8, you can see just how close this is. 2.7 seconds from P1 to P7 myself, and we've got another driver right behind us. So top 8 within 3 seconds of each other here, going into the final 2 laps. So going up here into the braking zone, we're going to see if we can hang it round the outside again like we did before, but no, he's on the brakes way too late for us to do that. I'm just trying to keep it nice and smooth as we see a lot of action kicking off in front of us. We've got cars side by side up ahead, and it's getting really, really close. We can see also that we're definitely gaining on Nico. We pitted the same time as him, and this is why I think the Peugeot is actually a stronger car than the Porsche around it, because of the tyre wear. I think that the Peugeot is actually a little bit stronger and a little better on tyre wear, and also the gearing seems to be almost perfect for this combination. The gearing on the Peugeot, it seems to be a match made in heaven for this Nürburgring, so that's why I'll probably be using this car mainly tonight on this combination. I really like the feel of it. So getting back in the slipstream, can we go for a move here? He sees that we're going to go for a move on the inside, blocks that off. We're going to try and go really late on the brakes and hang it around the outside. However, with the current tyre wear, that is going to be really difficult. However, we've got a Toyota that's just gone off there. That's 1 free position, so we're up to P6 now, and still only 2.7 seconds behind the leader. And then the BMW runs wide. That's going to give me the ability to jump up into P5 now. And we're getting the slipstream off that Porsche. I think the Porsche pitted a lot later than what we did. So this is going to be very difficult. I'm not sure what tyres some of these on. They might have fresher mediums, which will be in much better condition than ours now. So we've got the slipstream to P4. Can we manage to get close to the drivers in front? We're going to fast forward this action now as we work our way onto the final lap. So on the final lap, you can see moves going on in front of us. It's a great little battle, this, really enjoyable. We're managing to stay with it, but the tyres are really starting to fade now. You can see, look how bad our rear left tyre is. It's on the verge of dying. It's got not much left on it at all, but we're managing to keep the car on the road, and this is what I'm saying about the RCZ. Very strong car for this track. So we're going down after this last sector here, over the second sector split, and we've just got this final bit of straight to go. We've got about a 4/10 gap to P6 behind us, and as we come into the braking zone, we can't go a race without being punted off the track, and there it is. P. Walker does it again. I think he did something similar in the previous race. However, I will say this, he did apologise at the end of the race, so no harm done. And I also knew that if we carried on straight over the chicane there after being hit, we won't get a penalty. So we managed to hold on to the P5. Unfortunately, it was getting very close to the front as they started to battle. So you can see just how close it was. I'm not sure what happened to Nico. I'm not sure if he gave the position up for some reason, but overall, an enjoyable race, but we still managed to get punted in that one as well. So a day of a lot of punts going on today. Hopefully, it'll be better when we stream this, but hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the racing and what you're going to be doing. I'm probably going to be avoiding Daily Race A and B. Might do one or two of them, but in general, we're going to be sticking to Daily Race C because that is a more fun combo. Anyway, see you all soon. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again later on for a stream. Bye, everyone.